Thank you for the free seminar, by the way. My question has to do with an industry and product type. In terms of your former mentees, are there any ones of note in the U.S. that have done successful with purchasing tangible assets like apartment buildings?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. A third of that list I went through are real estate. Absolutely.
Is there anything different?
But it's not in the traditional way that you're buying them. See, commercial debt, seller finance, and commercial debt. But you're not taught seller finance. Some banks that you're going to use won't know what seller's finance is. They won't know what a seller's note is. So in that regard, and there's a reason why Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, all the guys don't sell QLA model, because there's no fees in it. Almost zero fees. So why would JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs sell you a deal they're going to make no money? They wouldn't. It's nothing wrong about them. It's just not their model. It's just not their model. But, we've got guys, we've got tons of guys that own hundreds and even thousands of units. And then there's the rent. That's a whole other, I'm not going to get into it there. I don't like having tenants. Because tenants are like hemorrhoids. You never know when they're going to pop out.
Similar to when you were buying mobile home parks.
Correct.
Do you have any thoughts on like the recreational vehicle parks?
No,
today?
well, they're not as lucrative as the mobile home. The industry average for mobile home parks is about 65% cash flow, positive cash flow. For the park, that's if you're a moron. 95% if you know what the fuck you're doing. 50% if you're an imbecile. But owning and managing mobile home parks, of course, they call them manufactured homes. It's a tough-ass business now. It was then. You hire a retired sergeant major or somebody like that to be the park manager, and you carry a gun. You carry a motherfucking gun, and you better be not afraid to use it either. Not some of you airy-fairy. They fucking eat you alive. We used to pick up our rents twice a month in a Brink. We bought a Brinks truck. You know the Brinks trucks? We painted out the Brinks. And the mobile home park was, the industry shits money. A retard with a 10 IQ can make millions. I've never seen anybody make billions except Zamzell, God bless him, from Chicago. He's made billions on mobile home parks, but I've never seen anybody other than Sam. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Next.
Hello, Mr. Peña. My name is Tristan Holland. I'm currently in Austin, Texas. My question is for you is what services am I asking the accounting firm to perform when they're doing the due diligence?
It's all on my site. And remember, my book is free online, and it was updated in 2018. But initially, it's due diligence. That's it. Initially, it's due diligence. And for deals that are maybe 1 or 1.5 million or less, your board can do the due diligence. But the reason why we want big accounting firms, this is not part of your sales pitch. It's because when they fuck something up, you can sue them for malpractice. And they've got big, deep pockets. So if you fuck something up and you're doing the due diligence, who are you going to sue? Your own board members? So initially due diligence. But it's in my book, online. Now, the two least things look down on my site for free. Two least. Deal flow and how do you get the fucking money. Now, those two buttons or whatever you call them on my site should be the most read. But if I show you how to do deal flow and I show you how to get the fucking money, then you might have to perform so you don't look. A given day, nobody goes on those two. Okay?
So, sorry, but is that quality of earnings or is that...
No, quality of earnings is something else. Okay, you're farther down the shit road than, okay. Quality of earnings is something the accountants have to give to the bank when you're doing commercial lending. Gotcha. You're not doing a quality of earnings when you're doing a seller finance. Okay?
Thank you, Mr. P.
You're welcome.
Hi, Mr. P. I'm Pedro from Brazil originally, living in California. I want to ask you about your experience with the automotive industry and rolling up inside.
Which industry?
Automotive industry?
Automotive.
Yeah, yeah. You.
What part of automotive?
That's the question. Which you think is more lucrative?
Well,
Auto bodies, dealerships?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't go into anything competing directly or indirectly with Elon. I would not go into anything directly or indirectly in electric. There's too much competition. You want to go into something that is...
what about auto body works?
Auto bodies are big margins. You mean you're fixing fenders and stuff?
Yes,
yeah.
car parts.
They're big margins. Normally nobody wants to buy them because it's a dirty business. You go in there, the guy's got a patch on his eye, missing 3 teeth. I mean, those businesses are normally 60 to 70% gross margin. And it's easier to deal with the owners that are motivated sellers because they know nobody else will buy them.
And about what you said sometimes about Brazil, that is a good market. You still think that... Which
market?
Brazil.
Brazil?
Yeah, for doing QLA and rolling up.
I don't know about automotive, but I know that where there's a rule of law and you can go to court, any place in the world is good. But if there's a rule of law like in African continent or India and you can pay off the judge just because there's a rule of law, that doesn't support your case. You need to be able to go to court and fight if they cheat you. Correct.
Your hand, right? Thank you, sir. Appreciate
You're welcome.
Mr. Peña, Andre from Montreal. Thank you for the talk. It is an
You're
honor.
welcome.
I have a question about industries with big profit margins. Now, climate change, whether it's real or not, whether we care about that or not, there is a transition undoubtedly towards net zero. 60% of the Fortune 500 companies have pledged to net zero goals. So between now and 2050, there's going to be billions and trillions of dollars poured into that. So with that in mind, are there any specific sectors of this transition that you think are profitable in terms of big margins for exponential growth?
No. First of all, the net zero is a joke. That's not going to happen. Last year, $31 billion was lent to industry, the anti-climate change money, okay? For the CAP 26 that he just had in Glasgow, they made a $100 billion pledge again to make up for the 2015 CAP 25, that the $100 billion was not given up by the rich countries to the poor countries. Not one penny. And the reason why is because the poor countries, it all goes in corruption. Okay? So India didn't sign off on it, Russia didn't sign off on it, China didn't sign off on it, I forget one other Arab country didn't sign off on it. That's great publicity, but it's not going to happen. It just won't. It just is not going to happen. Rather than that, and you don't have to fight this environmental shit, healthcare. Healthcare is the easiest. We have some monkeys in the audience. My monkeys, they're my meatheads that have made a lot of money off it. Don't laugh too much, okay? Healthcare. There's no reason, rhyme or reason why some of these people sitting in the audience shouldn't have made a fucking nickel off of healthcare, but they've gotten rich off of it. So, I mean, it's just, healthcare is the easiest because we all want to stay alive longer, and the average age of the planet is getting older, and their healthcare, when I told Rick Scott 35, 40 years ago, was only growing at about 10, 11%. Healthcare almost globally is growing about 20% a year. And by 2050, it should be growing about 30% a year. And so it's easier. Why look? The girl next door keeps her window open so you can go over and see her at night, right? You're the best looking girl in town, 5 miles away. The girl next door is geographically desirable. She leaves the fucking window open. So healthcare leaves the window open. Why go look for something else?
Thank you, Mr. Peña.
You're welcome. Next.
Mr. Peña, my name is Guillermo, 27, excuse me. I like to state my affirmation really quick from the camera.
Okay.
And the rest of the meatheads. I'm so fucking happy and excited that I am becoming the richest man on fucking planet Earth. Second, I'd like to ask a question. Maybe, I don't know if you want to save this. I just came into contact with Winnica got the wire information.
Oh, Winnica.
July seminar. Yep. So within the next day, we should be paying off the seminar. To
Well,
be there in
good,
July,
good.
so.
I'm not, you know, most of you are broke, so I'm not looking for you to come to the seminar. But I can say with my hand on where my heart's supposed to be, that I've never seen a billionaire produce that didn't come to the seminar. I can tell you with absolute certainty. That's not because maybe there was one out there, but somebody would have flapped his mouth by now. But most of the people, 99% of the people that have benefited from QLA, I've never met. I wouldn't know if they were sitting in the room. But we've certainly, you know, I don't post all these numbers as a joke. I mean, they're for real. Some of them even astound me. The ones that astound me the most are the teenagers that, against all odds, get this shit done. It's a fucking miracle is what it is. Yeah, but fine. I look forward to seeing you.
So my question is on seller finance.
Yes.
When you do 100% seller finance and go finance it for the first time.
You start 100% seller finance. That's where you start.
When
That's
you go
not, but the golden formula, more or less, is 60-40. 60% commercial debt, 40% seller's debt. The banks love that because the sellers are committed.
When you go to the bank in 2 years later to get it financed.
Oh, no, that's when you're not refinancing them because they're not financed.
Right.
You're financing them for the first time.
So how do we go on financing it and paying the sellers?
Well, no. If you do 100% seller finance, you got no money for yourself. You got no money for accountants. You got no money for lawyers. So why would they do it? And some of these guys are going to have brokers, which I'm against, but they will have brokers. Well, first of all, there's nothing illegal about you paying the broker fee, even though you're the buyer and not the seller. That's number one. As soon as you tell a broker you're going to pay his fee, he will bring you deals so you can't get them up your ass or down your throat. They bring you so many deals. That's number one. Number two, the accountants and the lawyers will understand the seller finance. You're not going to be able to pay them. The one that really needs the money the most is you. And that's the only reason you don't use 100% seller finance. It's not because everybody else has got more money than you. You just got to suck on that tailpipe a little longer, you know, because you're broke, you're dead broke. Another reason a lot of people don't use the QLA model is you have to admit you're dead broke. I'm 47 years old and I'm dead broke. I should be ashamed of myself. Yes, you should, but that's yesterday. We're talking about today now. Today's the beginning of the first day of the rest of your life. But it's all of these questions are on the site, in the YouTubes. When people say that they've seen all my shit, that's bullshit. I mean, if you started tonight, it would take you to the summer to listen to every fucking thing I've got online. To the summer. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. And unlike me, you don't have a mind for a steel trap for a mind. You got to read and listen to shit more than once. Now, gifted people don't have to do it more than once. I don't see many gifts out there. So just admit to yourself, I'm not gifted, so I got to listen to this shit 3 or 4 times. Okay.
Look forward to seeing you in July.
Thank you.